Life doesn't get easier. You either crumble under its weight, or you forge yourself into the kind of person who never breaks again. You think you're lazy. You think you're weak. You think you lack discipline. But let me hit you with a forbidden truth. You're not unmotivated. You're overstimulated. Your mind has been hijacked, and you didn't even see it happening. This is not your fault. But it is now your responsibility. Because every second you scroll, every dopamine hit you take, you become more numb, and less alive. You're being turned into a slave. Not by chains, by comfort. That's the weapon. The enemy isn't outside. It's in your pocket. It's in your habits. It's the endless stream of noise flooding your mind and numbing your soul. Do you want to know why you feel tired before the day even begins? Why everything feels heavy? Why your focus is gone? Why your fire won't light? Because you've been overstimulated to the point of emotional paralysis. And nobody told you how to fight back. But that ends. Now, this is your awakening. This is your mental warfare training. And I won't go easy on you. Let's begin with the first truth. Number 1. Starve the noise. Motivation doesn't it suffocates. Under distractions. Under cheap dopamine. Under things designed to hook your brain and drain your soul. You've been tricked into feeding yourself poison and calling it pleasure. The endless swiping. The constant notifications. The mindless videos. It's engineered addiction. They don't want you to be focused. They don't want you to be powerful. Because a focused mind is a dangerous weapon. You must fast from the noise, not reduce. Fast. Just like Marcus Aurelius fasted from comfort to sharpen his resolve. Just like Spartan warriors were trained in silence before battle, so that every strike was intentional. Delete the app. Put the phone in another room. Let your nervous system go through withdrawal. Because yes, there will be pain. But after pain, comes clarity. And when your mind clears, you'll realize you were never lazy. You were clouded. Let me say that again. You were never lazy. You were clouded by 1,000 false fires, and you couldn't see your own path anymore. But when the noise stops, the real voice returns. Your voice. And it's been waiting, silently in the shadows, starving to be heard. Number 2. Rebuild the discipline circuit. Imagine this. A soldier goes to battle without ever training. No weapons, no mindset, no drills. That's what most people are doing today. They're walking into life's war zone, untrained, and they wonder why they fall. You want motivation? Then earn it. Every damn day. Discipline is not born from motivation. It's born from pain, from ritual, from sacrifice. You want fire? Start with a spark. Make your bed like it's preparing you for war. Work out like you're training to survive an attack. Say no to distractions like they are enemies trying to steal your weapon. Because that's what they are. When Viktor Frankl was in the concentration camps, stripped of everything, freedom, food, family, do you know what he clung to? Meaning, purpose, the choice to hold on to a reason to keep going. Even when surrounded by death. And you have 1,000 freedoms he didn't. But your mind is still chained. So what's your excuse? No, you're not weak. You've just never been taught how to build the inner furnace. But now, you will. It begins by deciding that you're no longer negotiable. You no longer entertain the voices that say, just one more scroll, you're too tired, maybe tomorrow. You silence them. Because you know those voices don't come from strength. They come from weakness dressed in comfort. And here's the darker truth. Comfort is the new weapon of mass destruction. It kills ambition, kills masculinity, kills self-respect. But no more. This moment is the dividing line. You will live like your mind is a fortress. You will defend your time like a soldier defends a castle. You will stop waiting for the right feeling to act, and instead act until the right feeling bows to your command. This world doesn't need more men who scroll. It needs more warriors who build, who bleed, who rise from the fire hardened and ruthless against distraction. You want a better life? Start by becoming worthy of one. This is your first call to arms. Fast from noise. Train like a soldier. Kill the comfort before it kills you. Because this world isn't gentle, and neither can you be. Part 2 begins the moment you decide to suffer for your strength. And once you do, the storm becomes your teacher. The pain becomes your power, and your mind, it becomes impenetrable. Are you ready? Then let's continue. But understand this. You won't recognize the person you're becoming. And that is the entire point. You're here because something inside you refuses to die quietly. Because deep down, you know, this life isn't about comfort. It's about conquest. And your greatest battlefield is your mind, now that you've begun to starve the noise. Now that you've chosen discipline over distraction, it's time for the next phase, where the war gets real, and the enemy gets louder. You will face storms. You will feel doubt crawling through your spine like a parasite. But understand this, your weakness isn't your curse. Your comfort is. Let's go deeper. Because what's coming next, most men will never hear. Truth number 3. Build friction into your life. You've been taught that struggle is bad, that ease is the goal, that a balanced life is the path. Lie. Absolute lie. Friction is your training ground. If there is no resistance, there is no growth. If there is no weight, your strength atrophies. Every time you eliminate friction, you eliminate the spark of greatness. The Spartans knew this. They didn't raise boys, they forged warriors. By introducing pain early, hunger, isolation, endurance. Because a life without struggle breeds men without spine. Now think, where have you eliminated friction? You use food to numb your emotions, entertainment to escape boredom, comfort to dodge the inner voice screaming, "You are made for more!" You've created a life so soft, your own soul can't stand it anymore. So now, do the opposite. Wake up earlier than you want. Do one thing a day that hurts. Force yourself into silence with no stimulation for 1 hour a day. Do the work that frightens you. Because friction sharpens the blade, and you are that blade. Do you think ancient warriors cared how they felt? They trained until their bones cracked. Then they trained some more, not to look strong. To be strong. You don't rise through convenience. You rise through controlled suffering. Because pain is not your enemy, comfort is. Truth number 4. Choose boredom. This is going to sound strange, but listen carefully, because this might be the most forbidden lesson of all. You think boredom is bad? That boredom means your life lacks meaning? That's what they want you to believe. But here's the dark truth. Boredom is sacred. It is the space where your soul speaks. It's where your vision is born. And that's why they're flooding your life with stimulation. So? You never hear it. Do you understand? Your mind is constantly reacting, but it is never reflecting. You're so filled with noise that silence now feels painful. But it's in that silence that your highest self emerges. Viktor Frankl, locked in Auschwitz, surrounded by death and decay, was not overstimulated. He was surrounded by unbearable silence. But in that silence, he discovered a truth that changed humanity. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space lies our power to choose, and in our choice lies our growth and freedom. Now look at your life. Where is your space? Where is your sacred boredom? There isn't any. So start creating it. Go for long walks without your phone. Stare at a wall for 20 minutes and let your mind scream. Sit in silence until the demons surface, and face them. Because here's what no one tells you, all that fear, anxiety, self-doubt, it's not permanent. It's passing smoke. But you'll never see that if you never sit with it. Choosing boredom is choosing presence. It is the foundation of discipline, clarity, and power. Do you know why the elite win? Because they can sit with silence longer than everyone else. They aren't addicted to stimulation. They are addicted to stillness. Stillness is not passivity. It's preparation. It's the gathering of inner fire. And when it's time to move, they explode forward with ruthless precision. That's what I want for you. To stop living in reaction. To reclaim that inner space and use it to build the man you were meant to become. Let me ask you, when was the last time you just sat with yourself? No distractions, no escapes. If the answer terrifies you, good. That fear is your starting point. Because the strongest men are not those who fight lions. They are the ones who conquer their own mind in silence. And now, we go even deeper. You are no longer training for average. You are no longer interested in being liked, entertained, or safe. You are building a mental fortress. Point: one decision, one ritual, one suffering at a time. This is not soft advice. This is warrior. Initiation, friction, silence, discipline. These are your weapons now, and in part 3, you'll receive the final keys. The last rites of fire that will turn you into the kind of man no chaos can touch. But only if you're ready to destroy who you've been, to become who you were born to be. We go deeper next. And when we do, there will be no turning back. You've come this far. That means the old version of you is already gasping for air. The weak self, the overstimulated, distracted, soft self, it's dying. But hear this warning, it's going to fight for its life. Because comfort doesn't let go easily. It whispers. It begs. It disguises itself as logic. It's okay to rest. You've earned a break. You don't have to be so extreme. Lies. Lies wrapped in the language of self-care. But self-care without self-respect is just self-sabotage. You don't need more breaks. You need more battles. And that brings us to the next forbidden truth. Truth number 5, kill the consumer. Become the creator. You were not born to scroll. To consume. To spectate. You were born to build. But the system has turned you into a passive observer of life. You're watching other people live, other people rise, other people conquer, while your own potential rots quietly beneath distraction. Think of the gladiators. They didn't train to observe. They trained to bleed. To engage. To impact the arena with every breath. But what about you? You consume hours of content, but produce nothing. You absorb knowledge, but take no action. That's the war. And here's how you win it. Every day, you must create something painful, not fun, not easy, not cute, painful. Why? Because creation is confrontation. It forces you to face your resistance. It exposes your fear. It demands your soul. Write one page, even if your hand shakes. Speak one truth, even if your voice cracks. Build something with your bare mind and offer it to the world, even if they reject it. Because the act of creation trains your spirit in a way consumption never can. And the greatest men to ever live, they created through suffering. Viktor Frankl wrote his masterpiece after losing everything. Marcus Aurelius penned his meditations in the midst of war and death. Nietzsche, sick, alone, broke, still wrote like a man possessed by fire. They did not wait for inspiration. They bled it out of their own wounds. So must you. You want mental toughness? Build something when it hurts. Speak truth when your voice trembles. Stand tall when everything in you screams to collapse. That's how you shift from being a slave to being a sovereign. Truth number 6, stop explaining. Start moving. You're wasting time justifying your evolution to people who don't even deserve to be in your future. Let me make this brutal. Most people want you to stay weak, because your strength reminds them of their own decay. They'll mock you when you quit the noise, laugh at you when you wake up early, criticize your rituals, roll their eyes at your ambition. Let them. You are not responsible for protecting their comfort. You are responsible for building your empire. Stop explaining your goals. Stop defending your boundaries. Stop asking permission to grow. Every minute you spend explaining yourself is a minute stolen from execution. Listen, warriors don't explain. They show up. They do the work. They let their silence roar louder than 1,000 empty words. You want to be taken seriously? Then disappear. And return so forged, so sharp, so undeniable, that even your enemies have no choice but to respect your presence. Do you understand what's happening here? You are shedding layers. Shedding comfort. Shedding approval. Shedding anything that can't survive in fire. And yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will feel like death. Because it is. It's the death of the part of you that needed validation. The death of the part that needed noise. The death of the part that bowed to weakness. And in its place, rises you. The true you. Unstoppable. Unshaken. Unbreakable. And no longer reacting. And no longer explaining. Only moving, ruthlessly, relentlessly, like a man possessed by destiny. And here's the final brutal truth. Nobody is coming to save you, not your friends, not your family, not your mentors. You must become your own savior. You must be the one who wakes yourself up, who chooses silence over stimulation, discipline over dopamine, purpose over pleasure, and war over weakness. Because when the world collapses, only those who trained in solitude will rise in battle. Part 4 is your final strike. The call to begin now. To stop thinking. To stop doubting. To enter the arena with blood in your teeth and steel in your spine. The time for becoming has ended. The time for being has begun. Your transformation is in motion. But there's one last layer to burn off, one final enemy to face. And when you do, you will never return to who you were. This is it, the final strike, the line in the dirt where the old you ends, and the unbreakable you begins. You've tasted the truth. You've seen the chains. You've stood at the edge of your weakness. And now, you step through the fire. And no more delays. And no more someday. No more apologies for being hungry, relentless, and different. Because here's the final, soul-shattering truth you were never meant to hear. Every time you wait to begin, a stronger version of you dies. Every moment you say, tomorrow, is another nail in the coffin of the warrior you were born to become. You think time is your ally? It's not. Time is the battlefield. And it will bury you if you don't take it by the throat. You've spent years distracted, overstimulated, emotionally sedated, thinking you were lazy, when the truth was, you were buried under noise, fear, and false comfort. But now you know, and knowing changes everything. So here is your final command: kill the delay. Execute like your life depends on it. Because it does. Start today. Wake up before the sun and win the first battle. Move your body before it gives you permission. Sit in silence. Let the demons scream. And don't flinch. Write your vision down like your future self is already watching you. Don't wait to feel motivated. Don't wait for validation. Don't wait for a sign. Be the sign. Be the storm. Be the one who finally decided, enough. You see, most people live their entire lives as a diluted version of themselves, watered down by fear, drowned in distraction, erased by their need to be comfortable. But not you, not anymore. Because something inside you snapped. And that snap? That was the sound of weakness breaking off your soul. Now, when the world tells you to slow down, you accelerate. When the noise gets louder, you grow more silent, more focused, more dangerous. When fear rises, you don't run. You sharpen your sword. This is the way of the warrior, the stoic, the mind-fortified human who refuses to be owned by pleasure or panic. Your job now is to build the rituals that will protect this version of you from ever slipping back. Because the world will try. It will whisper. Just relax. Why are you doing this to yourself? Live a little. You will look that voice in the eye and say, I am not here to live a little. I am here to live like a force of nature. Let others waste their lives explaining. You will move. Let others chase comfort. You will chase mastery. Let others scroll, numb, and vanish into irrelevance. You will build a legacy with blood, grit, and unyielding discipline. Because now you know what you truly are, a weapon. A force. A mental fortress forged by fire and solitude. You're not overstimulated anymore. You're locked in, unleashed, and hungry. And from this moment forward, you do not negotiate with weakness. You conquer it. So here is your call to action, and listen carefully. It's not just about commenting or liking this video. It's about proving to yourself that you meant what you heard. Right now, drop a comment saying, I'm building the fortress. That's your pact, your oath, your declaration of war on your old self. And then, get up, shut the noise off, pick your ritual, start your first task, move, sweat, create, face the silence, build the man you were meant to become. Because comfort is a grave, but discipline is resurrection, and your mind is your greatest fortress. Build it unbreakable. Now go. The world won't remember the man who almost changed his life. Be the one it can't forget.